Hello and a warm welcome. This is viewer exclusive on Viewer Television. Today on the program, we're looking at State of the Nation matters, and I'll be having an accountant give us an accountant's bird's eye view on matters arising in polity, governance, in finance, and all of that. So my name is Chinonso Chekweth, and you'll join me again after this break while I'll ask an expert and he'll give us answers to these questions. Join me again. Thanks for staying with me on Viewer Exclusive today. I'm being joined live in the studio by Ernest Ogbebo. He's an accountant and a business coach, and he is here to give us answers to some concerning questions on the polity and the way the government is going with matters and issues. You're welcome to the studio this morning, sir. Thank you for honoring our invite here. So,
pleasure.
Yeah. Without much ado, let me start by just asking a general question on how you're feeling and your general perception of this government and how it's going, with a look at the issues on ground. Would you give a scorecard right now?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, can give a scorecard, but it's important to put whatever metrics we are using to assess the performance of the government so far in proper perspective. Okay. I want to look at it from where the government is coming from, what they inherited from the immediate past government, and of course previous government before that. And so in scoring this government is looking, I don't want to look at results per se. I want to be looking at the policy statements. I want to be looking at the direction the government is going, which should culminate into the results that we should see in the short, mid, and long term. So that would just be the basis of my assessment so far. So generally, I would just say that yes, there's some bit of hope because of one or two policy statements and direction the government is going, but there's still so much to be desired. I think that in fairness to the government and to Nigerians, I would not say the government have done too well already, even though we can see a bit of a shift as a group of people who have an idea possibly of what they want to do. How they are going about it will be a different thing entirely. Okay. That is a little bit, I would say, was absent in the previous administration, where we didn't know the direction, we didn't know what their policy direction was. And so when you now see another person who is trying to say this is where I want to go, and is doing things that he think will move us there, fine, we can start looking at it.
Okay, before I go straight into the questions, you're hopeful, right? So in terms of policy making right now that the government has made, in terms of policy making, which has evidently brought a lot of, let me just say, temporary hardship on Nigerians, are you hopeful that in terms of policies we are going to come out of this?
Obviously, it will be the government policy on subsidy, petroleum price subsidy, that has impacted very harshly on the generality of Nigerians. Am I hopeful that it will bring some benefit? Yes. Why? Because I personally have been an advocate of the removal of their so-called subsidy since 2012. I advocated in very minute minority then that President Jonathan should be left alone to take out that subsidy in 2012, when many of the apostles of subsidy removal today were playing politics and shut down the nation and all of that, and they had their way. But today, we all can see where we are. Even that policy right now, I don't think that the government again is doing enough in that direction, because maybe a little later we can talk about that. A few days ago, you've seen accusations and counter accusations. Government is still paying subsidy and stuff like that, and all that means that there's still something.
There's still exactly. There's still
so you see that the most impactful policy or program that the government had implemented in the last 100 days plus is even not being 100% followed.
So how hopeful should we now be, seeing that there are speculations, and I personally hold those speculations that there is subsidy somewhere. So how hopeful should we be, seeing that one of these policies is not completely transparent to the public?
Transparency is an issue that I actually struggle with when it comes to these government policies. What makes government officials and the government think that they should withhold so much information from the public and from everybody is what I don't understand. I find it difficult to understand. Why do you think if I let them know what is going on, they cannot handle it? And you are in the know, so you are better equipped to handle whatever is going on. The vast majority of people who are left in the dark, who don't know, they won't know what to do. What am I talking about? You say you have removed subsidy, for example, and that prices is being left in the hands of market forces. And today, I'm asking, where is the invisible hand? As far as pricing of petroleum products is concerned today in Nigeria? We can see the hand that is still controlling the price. So it is not you have not left it to market forces.
We heard they are not even importing right now.
Nobody can import except NNPC. Because even though, just take another policy statement that the government also made, coming in and saying you want to close the gap between parallel market and the official exchange rate. So we are going to have a unified, everybody go to the same I and E window, whatever, the importer and exporters window, and source foreign exchange. And a few days later, we are hearing that NNPC gets its dollars at a certain price, different from what other people get. And you are like,
so is
look,
I'm
not getting it.
Is that what is influencing the pricing of fuel that we have now?
Yes, that is still why it is only NNPCL. Let me just add the L for them, because I can't say the L in anything they are doing. Is the only one who is still getting government support to bring in petroleum products.
So this is some sort of indirect subsidy now on the product.
If you even say it is indirect, you are being maybe diplomatic or so. Directly, I think that NNPC is still being subsidized to be able to provide fuel at this price that we are buying it now. Because if NNPC is getting dollars at a rate that is less than what any other independent marketer can get the dollar from CBN, then we are subsidizing NNPC. Yes. And the price of crude is rising in the international market. We are paying the same price that we were paying as far back as July. Then something is...
it means they will keep in an increment in whatever invisible subsidy this is. And then
for as long as that price
continues to go up, there will still be an... What is this going to pose any form of economic damage in the country's economy? What level of problem are we in, if there is actually the subsidy?
Is it going to cause, or is it causing anything? Well, yes. But what level of problem are we in? I wouldn't say that we are in any special new problem other than where we were before. The way I will see it is that we are actually now like burning our candle from two ends. Whereas the people are saying, okay, we are ready to tighten our belt, we are ready to suffer because of this subsidy thing. Since you people have said subsidy is the one killing Nigeria, then it means that there is no benefit for all the suffering that the people
that we're going through.
Are going through.
Why don't you just go all out? Just
there is no benefit.
All right. Yes, let's hold that thought right now, and then we'll come back and continue this conversation right after the break. Just stay with us. Yeah, thanks for staying with us. This is still viewer exclusive on viewer television. We're still in conversation with Ernest Ogwebo, and he's giving us insights to the state of polity in Nigeria. You were trying to land on a point before we went on a break about we were talking about what amount of economic damage it is in comparison to the sufferings already. Can we just get it out already? Get the subsidies totally back, or?
Well, talking about the impact of the subsidy generally, where it's painful, like I was saying before, is the fact that the economy, the people we are going through a lot because of the subsidy that you removed. The reason why we are able to bear whatever pain we are going through now is that belief that when we have passed through this pain, at the end of the day, we are going to reap some benefit, because the government is saying things like we are saving money. This money will be available for schools, for hospitals, for roads, for this, instead of paying it as subsidy. So to suddenly realize that, wait a minute, we are still at that place where we are still paying subsidy. This same money now means that it's still coming in to subsidy. That's where I think the impact is being very negative on the people. Because when you think of what the economy is going through, it's not has gone through, because we are still going through it just because of this subsidy thing. Small businesses, even big businesses, you don't, there is nothing like planning when it comes to pricing of your inputs anymore and all of that, because price just keep changing, just keeps going up every day. So you now find and say, this suffering, is it worth it? Why didn't we just continue from where we
if we're still going to be, why didn't we just continue?
So what is the need for all this suffering?
And like we stated, this is a clear case of transparency, because Nigerians want transparency. Just let us know, what are we doing? Do we have subsidy? Do we not have subsidy? And then talking about case of transparency now, right? And let's bring it down to politics now. And we know the Elections Petition Tribunal now, and the whole PDP and Atiku case, bringing up the President Tinubu's CSU records and all that. What's your take generally on that? With the lens on someone like Peter Obi, the candidate for the Labour Party, and his remarks on that recently?
I bring it down to two things. The first is, I look at our leadership recruitment process in this country, and I'm like, we are not learning. We are not looking at that. What is how do we choose who is our leader, who becomes a leader, who goes into a leadership position in this country? That whole process itself is a problem. Now, by the time people get into leadership position, by however means they get there, the major other issue is respect for the people. The respect, how much respect do you have for the so-called electorate, for the so-called citizens of the country, constituency, or whatever you are leading? My take on the whole CSU issue is just that it's a needless controversy. We didn't need to be going this route from day one. And I put that blame squarely on the doorstep of President Tinubu.
Okay.
If there is nothing to hide, there is nothing. As this matter came up, you put the things in public domain. That is what I expect a leader to do. A leader is to galvanize people towards achieving a goal. And anything that is distracting the people that want to take us from that, you have the responsibility to always make sure we are facing that direction. So if this certificate thing, like they are saying, he is saying, his team is saying, there is nothing to it, what was the whole big deal about you getting a lawyer to stop the release? If anybody said he wanted to see your CSU record without even subpoena, without going to anything and all of that, you are vying for a political office such as for the president of Nigeria, and that issue comes up, you could have written to the university and say, make my record available, and it becomes public. See, if a blackmailer, the power a blackmailer has over his victim is that secrecy, that cover of whatever information, whatever they have on you.
Just bring it out in the sun.
So if you are going to use something to blackmail me, and I make it open, the blackmailer have lost their power over you. And that is what I see here. If Atiku think he has something on you and all of that, and you know that there is nothing in it, politics is over, election is over, let me call politics is always there, election is over and all of that, bring it out, then let's see it, and everybody will say, there is nothing here.
In your opinion, because this is clearly a show of grievances for how the elections came out, the judgment and all, when do you think we should be concerned about all of these credentials and all of our politicians? Should they be pre-election matters, or should it be because you're in courts and then you're trying to bring out things to, when should we be concerned about all of this?
No, we should always be concerned. I think that we should always be concerned.
At all points.
At every point. Even when you have won election. I'm using one, okay, people actually voted for you. You have won the election. We should still be concerned about your your past. Maybe. Because it tells a lot about these values in our society. Then how the future generation, the future leaders too, will take the nation state. If somebody who is aspiring to a position of leadership, there is any stain in the person's integrity, there is doubt on the person's character, we should take it seriously. We must be seen as a society that abhor anything immoral, criminal, illegal.
Yeah.
The society, all of us put together, must be seen. We must be seen to be that people who don't justify wrong by any means, whether it is by technicalities, by legalities, by terminologies, using constitution, using law. No, we must be seen as people who have a clear line between right and wrong. What is moral and what is immoral, what is criminal. We must be seen. My fear is that all of this goings on is blurring that line between what we take as good and what we take as bad, to the point that I fear that we'll come to a point where it's almost like nothing on its own is wrong. Depends on who is doing it.
We've apparently blurred those lines.
That is my fear, because we are using law legally, we are using technicalities, we are using all manner of things just to answer simple basic questions about morality, about integrity of
trying to understand
leaders.
the ohs and ands in laws. We're using laws
They
to try to
are
understand
not
simple
necessary
ohs and ands.
as far as I'm concerned. I'm saying that we don't need all those. We are just supposed to say this is wrong, this is wrong,
right.
this is right, and it will be clear to everybody. So we don't need to. What am I saying, Ife? That you come out and you tell me that the person did the thing, but he did it more than 10 years ago. Therefore, it shouldn't matter. Oh, we have come to a point in our society where we are saying if you succeed in doing something, all you need to do is to work very hard to make sure it does not come out until after a certain time. So by the time it comes out, we will not be talking about whether you did it or we are going to be saying it's a long time ago. Where would that take us to?
Nowhere.
Because the whole thing about the CSU thing, when somebody tells you, if you release my academic record, for example, and you say it's going to cause me irreparable damage. Hey, I should wait and say
I should really look into that.
This is something that is worth checking. Then everybody, whether you are in support of that person or not, should now be interested in knowing what is in this that will cause irreparable damage. If truly there is nothing to it then, but the person is making this kind of statement, you are not also making that statement in good faith for the whole nation, because it's like you are sending us on a wild goose chase. If there is nothing. But we must be able to now, that should galvanize all of us to work together to say, let's see what is in this. Let's see what that damage is, and start working on repairing it if it's repairable. And all of
you've
that.
talked about how a lot of lawyers are busy trying to legalistically answer questions. One notable that has been trending now, that lawyers are coming out to try to explain to us what the as and the and the or in this act, what the act says, is the recent appointment of the new FCT chairman. He had to be confirmed anyway, and there has been a lot of talk of how he is not he's not qualified as an economist. Now, what's your take on that, as someone in the finances? What's your take on his appointment?
Now, the question I want to answer first of all is, or I want to ask and we get answer to, is the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. Which of economy and crime, which is superior to the other, which is more important than the other? Because we have been appointing EFCC chair from the crime side of the name, police officers, people who are knowledgeable in maybe criminology, investigations, and all of that. Those are the people that we have had from the inception of EFCC as executive chair. Now, the president have now gone to the legal side of it, and people are now saying, what of the economy?
Yeah.
So the question will be, what are we really after? Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the economic and finance in this whole thing, is it what we really want to pursue? So that if you bring in somebody who is knowledgeable about the economy and the finance part, but has no knowledge of the criminal part of it, will it be a balanced leg? Now, that the whole organization itself, in my view, shouldn't be run by one man. So that it doesn't really, it's not supposed to be a big deal for me who is the chairman. There's supposed to be a board, a management board of that. I don't know what the law says. I'm not a lawyer. That is what I'm thinking. That there have to be 3, 4, 5 people who are sitting down together and managing an institution.
Capacity and strength?
They can never be of equal, because there will always be a chairman and there will be directors and stuff like that. But when it comes to making decisions, what is the importance really of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission chairman? Is the one who decides who is to be, which case to pursue, who is to be arrested, whether the person should be released, whether that is what it is. It means that it's more like a political appointment. That is what we have made it to be. So the president can use it to start pursuing political opponents and all of that. So is that what it's supposed to be? That's supposed to be a body that is like, our interest is on the economic health of Nigeria. So anybody who is doing anything that is casting doubt on our generally ease of doing business, how the economy will grow, it becomes the interest of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Yes, political appointees, when they see, my dear, all of this, my conclusion in this matter is that we don't hate crime. We don't hate corruption. What we hate, what we don't like is who is perpetuating the corruption. If the person that is doing it is my person, but I'm okay. That is what I have found out. That's what I have seen in Nigeria. It's not like we hate all these things we are talking about. We actually hate it when somebody from outside of our maybe tribe, religious group, whatever, economic bloc, or what, when is the person who is doing it, is when we shout. When we're, otherwise, we should be looking at this thing from the angle of how it benefits the entire economy, not even our personal benefit.
We're running out of time. Sorry to cut you, but let's cap this up with this question. If I got you right, whoever it is, if let's say if he is confirmed, because he's yet to be confirmed by the Senate, if and when he gets confirmed, what kind of men do you think that he should galvanize together to see that the AFCC, we get a different outlook from what has always been, where we come back to the decision of, oh, it should be this, it should be that, because of lack of efficiency in that body? What kind of men do you think he should galvanize around him?
Very simple. He should get first set of people, or the first quality of the people he needs to get in will be people who love this country more than they love their personal gain or whatever. Then they must have the competence to do what they have been taken to do. So you need people who are knowledgeable about economy, about finance, law, investigation is another thing. So they have different units in this organization, I should think so. So when an issue comes up that needs the attention of the commission, everybody comes together, bringing their own expertise on the table to deal with the matter. But the common denominator, what should be common to everybody on that table, should be love for the nation.
All right, that's a very fantastic place to end it for us today. It's been very wonderful having you, Mr. Ernest Okwebo. He's an accountant and a business coach. Would hope to have you again sometime on the show, as matters are always unfolding in the nation. Yeah, and it's been wonderful spending this time with you. Thank you for sticking around till the end. My name is Chinonso Chakwas. Do join me again on VOA Exclusive. Thank you.